At the previous round of the Mountain Dew ATV National Motocross Championship, defending series champion Chad Wienen was facing a challenge. Joel Hetrick got out front, and a rough racetrack was claiming victims everywhere. Wienen worked his way through traffic, but Hetrick took the Moto win. Combined with John Natale's victory at the opening round, Wienen knew he'd have to come storming back in Moto 2 to reestablish himself. And that's what he did, out-dueling Hetrick to take over the lead. And when the heat is on, Hetrick pushed a little too hard and went down trying to take the #1 spot back. Wienen back on top in ATV Motocross. Well, this is going to be a good one. It's the Mountain Dew AMA Pro ATV National Motocross Championship. I'm your host, Jason Wygant, here on Racer TV. We're at the Underground here in Kemp, Texas, and it's awesome to have this inaugural Texas ATV National. First time we've ever had a points-paying round here. Although a lot of the riders are familiar with this place. In the past, we've run some big-time charity events. A lot of them come here to ride and practice and train, and they all say to a man, this is one of the best ATV motocross facilities you'll find. The dirt is perfect, and the track is big because, well, everything's bigger in Texas. To give you an idea, look, we had side-by-sides out on the track, and they were hitting the big jumps and banging doors with each other and giving the fans an idea of just how high-flying the action would be. We also brought in a freestyle show. And then to even outdo the high-flying antics of the freestylers, yes, even someone parachuting in with an American flag. But now it's time to get prepared for our Pro ATV race. The teams have gone through tech inspection. They're locked and loaded. Chad Wienen leads the points over Joel Hetrick. Here's Wienen on the #1 machine. John Natale won the opening round. He is third in the series standings right now. Never count out veterans like Joe Bird, multi-time champion of the series, and a lot of other riders like the 75 and Casey Martin. There's the whole shot mastermind, Josh Upperman. And Jeff Rastrelli, fresh off a podium finish, best race of his career at our previous stop. Wienen, of course, the man to beat. There's Thomas Brown, formerly his teammate, now has his own Yamaha team. But there's the 88 of Joel Hetrick. He might be the prime candidate. He has the speed to run with Wienen. Let's talk to him about his prospects.
Round 2 at Georgia was going really well for me. I won the first moto, was coming out for the second moto, battling with Chad. We had an awesome race. And I got into him and I wrecked, got back on the bike, 7th for that moto, 4th overall. Coming to Texas, I was training my butt off and trying to get strong and ready for this heat and humidity. We're here now, the track looks great, it's real sandy, a lot of big jumps. Should be real technical and a lot of places to pass and good race, and hopefully get on the podium or get a couple wins and tighten up this points gap.
Yes, consistency really the key for these young riders. Hetrick, that crash cost him in points. Jeff Rastrelli able to squeeze out a podium finish at the last event.
Jeffrey Rastrelli here at the 3rd round of the ATV MX series, Underground MX. Came out of the last round with a 3rd place finish. Not exactly what I wanted, but I'm not complaining. It's matching my best finish ever, so pretty happy with that. The last round was really sandy and kind of struggled on my starts, but hopefully to turn around this weekend and get better starts. And this track's also sandy, so I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully come out with a podium or even better, a win, and I can't wait.
I love how these guys finish in the top 3 and say, not exactly what I wanted, but the case is the same here. Second at our last race is the Texan, Thomas Brown, but he wants a win.
Got second a few weeks back in Georgia, had a few weeks off, and now we're back here in Texas. Hometown race for me. I'm pumped. Looking forward to a great finish here. Hopefully win this over. I'll get up on the top step of that box and cheer in front of all the hometown friends and family. I should have a huge crowd and plan to bring home the Texas win to Texas.
Well, we'll see if Brown can get it done. Certainly a deep field of contenders here, but a lot of rain leading into this event. But it's let up now, and the riders feel that's left the dirt in perfect condition. And we'll be racing as soon as we return. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Well, this is how we get the racing started in the Mountain Dew ATV National Motocross Championship with qualifying. 2 different runs. It's basically practice and qualifying wrapped up into one because we will keep track of the lap times and hand out the ATVriders.com Fast Qualifying Award. There's big old Chad Wienen way over the back of his Wienen Motorsports Yamaha. And those whoop sections are where the big 6'4" man from Illinois has always made his money. Being chased around right now by Hetrick on the familiar number 88. Hetrick always lightning fast in qualifying. I'd say more than half the time he comes up with the Fast Qualifying Award. And yes, there are big jumps on this track, like Hetrick was saying earlier. Now, it'll be interesting to see how rough this track gets. The sandy soil usually gets very choppy, but you can see some of those shiny parts on the underside. That means that some of it is getting a little bit harder. So you're going to have the sandy bumps, which are kind of rounded, and then the hard pack bumps, they turn into square edges. Really hard to set the machine up. The rider's got to figure out how to go fast on these laps, but also really be in touch with what the ATV is doing, and then make the proper changes for the motos with their crew. Here's Ronnie Higgerson, another Illinois native, looking for that breakthrough. He's gotten some good starts in the past, has run the pace, but as we said, it's all about consistency for these younger guys. They all are fast, but doing it every moto and being able to do it when you don't get the good start, very tough. Nick Janusa, number 15, that's him there on the Yamaha, airing it out. And always good to see a Suzuki in the mix, the 32, Silas Lamons. And no, that's not Ryan Dungy with the orange number 5, that's Vital Kazanev. Oh, we got the onboard here on the big triple with Hetrick. Man, it's just fun to watch them rip it up. Hetrick, your fastest qualifier in the first group. Wienen and Brown on the Yamahas right behind him. And then Hetrick would come out and do it again in the second time out. But look at Rastrelli, the 728, really showing his speed. So another fast qualifier award courtesy of ATVriders.com for Hetrick. You got to wonder if Wienen's worried about that. He's back into the series points lead right now, got that red background. Certainly confident. Let's talk to the champ.
So coming from Daytona to Etchecani, I really wasn't most thrilled on my result there, and I just had a little bit of more work to do, and just kind of put my head down. And that short 10 days, luckily it was short 10 days because I think I was definitely gonna wear myself out in between that gap. And came into Georgia, and man, that first moto just wasn't myself, and I had to work a little bit hard. And so second moto, I was able to get it done, and we had about a month-long break, and here we are getting ready here in Texas, and new track here for us on the circuit, and really looking forward to trying to extend this points lead and keep that red plate.
There's a lot of good riders here today, but that's a proud champion, and on a rough race track like this especially, it's going to be awfully hard to top Chad Wienen. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by Amsoil. Let's get it on here. Chad Wienen, the factory Yamaha rider, backed by Wienen Motorsports. There's Jeff Rastrelli, Joel Hetrick. Throw in the likes of John Natale, who won the opener at Daytona, the veteran Joe Bird, Thomas Brown, the Texas native. So many riders that could win today. This is Mountain Dew Moto number 1, and our Rocky Mountain ATV MC helmet cam on board with Joel Hetrick. Hetrick, not a great jump, but that machine really pulled down the line. But John Natale is going to grab your whole shot. It's a lethal combination off the start. Natale, always a great starter, as Upperman's right behind him. But now Natale on the Baldwin Motorsports team for the first time this season, and that team has always built amazingly fast race ATVs. And that combination, no shocker, has led to a whole shot here. Hetrick has just jumped past Upperman, and he is in the number 2 position. Upperman going to work. He's got Hetrick right in front of him. Whoa, hold on to that thing, John Natale. Totally sideways in the air. And back on board with Hetrick. He can zero in on the leader. And that is Wienen up to 3rd. So 3 of the big guns, the 3 riders who have won motos so far this year, are already 1, 2, 3. Upperman going to do his best to hang with them in 4th. But Hetrick not messing around. He already wants a piece of Natale. And I love when these two hook up. You've got one of the all-time veterans, former series champ, and one of the high-flying youngsters with Natali and Hetrick. A great contrast. But you know that the old shark is back there. Yeah, the champion on the Yamaha, leaning on these two Honda riders. Man, Hetrick eating a lot of that sandy roost. Wants to get right up on the rear wheels of Natali. And we're going to finally get an opportunity to see where are the passing zones at the underground motocross track. We saw everybody lay down fast laps in qualifying, but they haven't had to pass until now. Little inside groove. I think it's a little too deep, those ruts. No, Wienen took it. So there's an opportunity. You still got to be able to step over that big triple, though, if you're going to use that inside line. First lap or two, it looked like Hetrick was about to make the pass, but Natali has stretched it out a bit, and now they've pulled away a bit from Wienen. And Jeff Rastrelli on the Can-Am comes around in fourth. Hetrick going to have to reload here and go back after Natali, and he is. They almost bumped wheels around the outside. Big power move. Hetrick into the lead. Just waited for the opening, and he pounced. Now we'll see if Natali can hang with him. Stay with us. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Spectacular racing here in Texas. Joel Hetrick is now your leader. He got around John Natali just before we went to break. They almost bumped wheels entering a corner, and neither rider lifted. Just kept it wide open. Hetrick was able to power around the outside, and now that he has clean racetrack, starting to inch away. And this is exactly what Hetrick needs, not only to go out and win the motos, but have a little buffer. Natali certainly in the championship fight as well, but your series leader is Wienen, and they have put it to him in this one. That's not a gigantic lead, but it's pretty big by the usual standards with these guys leaning on each other. And Rastrelli, he's not intimidated at all. He's going after Wienen for third. Hetrick on the corrosion back machine. And then a separate battle is built up now. Thomas Brown has caught Rastrelli, and Rastrelli still all over Chad Wienen. They could bump the champ off the podium in this race. There's Natali. Still solid. Then it's Wienen. And I think Wienen has slipped him now. He's gotten away just a little bit. So everyone by himself at the latter stages of this first moto. Well, Hetrick's showing what he can do. He has always been bad fast and has great style as well. One lap to go. And we won the first moto. Oh, he tried that inside line and almost threw it all away. Wow. And that's the whole problem. Every year, there's a couple of motos where Hetrick ends up down on the ground, usually because he's going for it. We saw it happen at the previous race in Moto 2. He crashed battling with Wienen, and that makes all the difference in the points because Wienen, who also used to have similar habits going back 5-6 years ago, now Wienen has figured out the consistency game. There's a 13 in the tally, the one of Wienen, still second and third. And they pulled away from the rest of the field. Brown is going to get into fourth, but too little too late to make a run for the podium. It's over. Hetrick, another first moto win. Natali, second. Wienen, Brown, Rastrelli. It's your top five. See if Hetrick can polish them off and try to get an overall today. Because you got to do it in moto number 2. They already reset, re-rack. We'll combine the scores from the first race and this one to determine your overall winner. Oh, they're flying the American flag down here again. Love how they do it here in Texas. Well, the Rocky Mountain ATV MC helmet cam, maybe that's a good luck charm. Much better, by the way, jump for Hetrick in this second moto. And it's Natali battling with Upperman again, and Natali's going to grab your second hole shot of the day. That's 2 SSI Decals hole shot awards for him. So an instant replay of Moto 1 where you have Upperman, Hetrick, and Wienen all right there. But Wienen's down the inside of Hetrick. Well, whose line is going to pay off? Hetrick went outside to inside. We're looking at third and fourth. He's going to hold off Wienen. Wienen on the blue machine. But it's the red Honda of Natali. Then that black and white vehicle, that is Upperman, and Hetrick trying to get him. Can't make it work. He's got a little opening here on the inside, but it's really going to be hard to hold the line here. I think he makes it happen. Oh, but where did Wienen come from? Wienen down the inside. Chad Wienen steals second. Going for the lead now. Racer TV is brought to you by Mountain Dew, by Rocky Mountain ATV MC, and by AMSOIL. Well, a big shakeup just before we went to break. Joel Hetrick, you see in third on the red machine. He wanted to take this moto win. He was in position. He got himself into second. He was all about to start setting up John Natali, your race leader, and Chad Wienen just snuck up on him. And now Wienen knows what to do. He's got to get to the front, trying to win this moto, and maybe get the overall. He had a third in Moto 1. A third and a first could be good enough. When we combine results, Hetrick would then need to get to second to still get the overall win. And Thomas Brown not out of this one, the Texas native. Wants to win here in front of his fans in the worst way, but when you've got these three in front of you, not going to be easy. And Wienen just inching up on Natali. Listen to these engines just screaming at the high RPM. You get a 450 up that high, it's going to pull some serious horsepower. And look at this, Wienen is now in the lead. So somewhere in that series of jumps, he took the number one spot. Hetrick going to try to follow him around Natali. So now Hetrick is second, Natali third, and Brown, what has happened to Natali? I don't know if there's a mechanical problem or what, but he has gone from first to fourth in about a half of a lap. So now Hetrick's in a good position. He could have a 1-2 to Wienen's 3-1, and I think that would still be enough to get the overall win. But now he has Brown all over him. Brown could be the spoiler. And you know he's going to be hauling here. He wants to put the Yamaha in front of Hetrick, and he wants to win in front of the hometown folks. And he's made the pass. So Brown has saved the day. This will be enough for Wienen to win the overall. He'll have a 3-1. Hetrick will have a 1-3, and the tiebreaker is the better second moto finish. And we're in the last lap, and now we have a report for Hetrick, a heartbreaker. So he's dropped further back. Natali on that 13 has just moved back into the number 3 spot. And somewhere back there, Jeff Rastrelli now trying to get around Hetrick for fourth. So again, consistency will rule the day for Wienen. Not a great first moto, a good one, but much better here in Moto 2. He got in the lead, and then everyone else had their troubles, and that's why this guy keeps building points leads and winning championships. So the Wienen Motorsports Yamaha getting away. Good run by Thomas Brown in second. He's on the Moto Experts Yamaha. And Rastrelli in fourth, closing down hard on Natali down the stretch. And there is a heartbroken Hetrick back in fifth now. Checkered flag is out. Yamaha goes 1-2 in it. Third for the veteran Natali. And there's Hetrick. Apparently engine problems. Just had enough power to even get to the finish. He ends up third overall. Natali second. Wienen with the win. Let's talk to our top riders.
My machine was working great, but that second moto I came out and I was kind of fired up about my performance, and I just came out swinging, and I knew I had to make it happen. And man, those guys are rolling today, John and Joel, and I'm just made a couple. I just rode a clean race, and John made a little mistake, and I got by him, and man, I just never looked back, and I just kept my Maxxis tires hooking up to the ground, my Fox shocks working great with my Yamaha, and I'm just really pumped on the day, getting the overall, and we'll head on to Tennessee.
Here in nice, hot, sunny Texas, I was able to take the Motorsport Baldwin Honda put it out front early with the hole shot and made a couple mistakes here and there. And Joel was able to get around, but I was able to keep him in sight and come in second the first moto. Second moto, same deal, man. The motorsport.com Honda was running great. And the Baldwin motor pulled me to the front again, was able to get the whole shot again. I was riding kind of with my mouth open a little bit and got some sand in there and wasn't able to breathe and made a few mistakes and left Chad and a couple guys around. And I was able to reel them back in, but I just didn't have enough time to get back around them. But, you know, with a 2-3 for the weekend, gave us second overall, so we're still in the points hunt. It's a long season. Yeah, we'll see you at Muddy Creek.
Just got out the podium. My weekend went pretty well for me. First moto, I was battling with John for first, got around him, pulled a little lead on him. Got first that moto. Second moto came out and had a pretty good start. I was battling with Chad and I just, the bike was cutting out a little bit and cased one of the biggest jumps here, and you know, it hurt pretty bad, so I had to tone it down a notch. I got fifth for that moto, third overall. It's not where I wanted to be, but you know, I'm coming home safe and consistent, so go to the next round and tear it up.
Amsoil race recap. Natali and Upperman, probably the two best starters in the game, pulled the good start in Moto 1. But here's the move. Hetrick got the second around Natali for the lead. Natali kept him close, but couldn't stop the kid from getting the Moto win. And the surprise was that Wienen, back in third, could not gain any ground on them. So Hetrick the Moto victory. As Wienen said, that kind of fired him up. He came out ready for Moto number 2. But first, you're going to have to deal with Natali and Upperman again with the good starts. Another SSI Decals Whole Shot Award to Natali. Here's Hetrick, battling it out with Wienen early. First, he gets around Upperman. He's in second, but Wienen makes the pass, pushing him back to third. And then Wienen goes around Natali to take the lead. Hetrick still could have won the overall at this point, but then he started having problems with the machine. Then he came up short on a jump, hurt himself a little bit, went back to fifth. All that opens the door for Wienen to take the not only Moto win, but overall win and further extend that points lead. When you're good in ATV Motocross, you're good. That's Chad Wienen. Thanks for watching, everyone.